Hello, everyone. This is Chris Duncan, the director of Texas School, and I'm here with one of our amazing instructors, John Hartman, who is teaching light painting, the art, the business, and the science of light painting. So, welcome, John. Thank you for joining us today for Texas School Off the Record. I want to have a fun little conversation with you about your class at Texas School coming up April 26th through May 1.
Well,
So,
thanks for having me, Chris. Appreciate it.
yeah. Well, glad you're here. So, I know John Hartman. Some of our students know John Hartman, but some people might not have heard of John Hartman before. So, kind of fill us in and give us a little 2 second or 2 minute bio about John Hartman.
Well, as my colleague Frank Crick used to say, I'm so old that when I was born, the Dead Sea was only sick. But I've been doing photography as a profession for the last 52 years, and I've had a lot of fun doing it. Photography is fun. I don't have to do it anymore, so I do it because it's fun. As soon as it ceases to be fun, I'll do something else. But at this point, I'm having more fun than I've ever had in photography. And and I've taught photographers marketing. I've taught them lighting, family portraits, senior portraits. And this light painting thing came about in about the last dozen years or so.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing I've noticed your career is you always seem to be on the forefront of something new, right? People are playing catch up to what you're doing. You're leading the way a lot instead of the other way around. So some photographers may be playing catch up and they're not familiar with what light painting is. They've heard of painting and they've heard of light, but how do you combine it together? So,
Well, light painting, simply put, is the process of lighting a subject using short, long exposures with flashlights in a dark room, so that you can illuminate the subject exactly the way that you want it, and then you combine those images in post-production to create a look that you really can't get anywhere else. The photographs that you look at,
mhm.
photographers still look at them, and I did when I first saw them. I looked at them, I said, "This is really cool. How do they do that?" You can usually pick apart a portrait. You can say, "Oh, if there's a round catch light in the eyes, then they use an umbrella." And if it
Yeah,
was a soft background, they use the f2.8, and if it was a little kicker light coming over there, you could say, "Oh, I could do that." But when you look at a light painting, you say, "Well, there's 72 photographs combined to make this picture. Show me where they are." You can't, and that's what makes it fun for me. It's different every time.
that's great. And I would assume this is something an action or a software is not going to give you a one click. This is still a handmade product that takes skill and
Exactly.
yeah.
Well, the point is that when we frame a photograph, we look at it on the back of the camera and we say, "Yeah, I like that," or "I don't like it," or if we need to make adjustments, we can. Here, it requires a little different kind of a skill set because you have to visualize what the finished photograph will look like first, and then you build the image around that vision, and that makes it at once challenging, but also really rewarding when you get it right.
Yeah. So so you're teaching this at Texas School. You've taught it for a few years as well. But what is a day in your class? I know your class is 5 days, April 26th through May 1, but what does a typical day look like? Do they need to bring their cameras and their flashlights, and are they bringing something to photograph? Are you going to supply that? What is that like?
Well, every day is different. The first day we spend explaining what light painting is and I do an actual light painting demonstration. We do the lighting, I do the editing, and bring it right out to the finished print. And then the second day, the students do their own little still life, and they bring their own stuff if they want. Sometimes people bring in food, some people bring in memorabilia from home or collections, that sort of thing, and they do their own light painting, and then they process that file so they get a finished image. And then that evening, or at some point in time, we go out and photograph a larger subject, whether it's a car or motorcycle or whatever, and that's on site. And we also have a backup site because my room is right next to the freight elevator, so we can bring in a motorcycle or something if we have to, if it's raining out or something, and we have done that before. And then that we build that image together. Uh,
Mhm.
and one of the things I feel really strongly about is that I don't go on. We're doing one photograph, one image at a time, and we don't go to the next image until everybody's got that done. So
Okay,
nobody
cool.
gets left behind, and it makes it a little slower for those that are on top of things. But I just tell them if you if you got it done and you're still waiting for something to do, then throw it away and do it again, because the whole point of this is to build muscle memory. And because it's a completely different process. It's not intuitive. It's not something that anybody's ever done before. It
Hmm.
requires a little bit of Photoshop knowledge, but most of that is baked into the actions and things that we use to put the files and image together. So you don't have to be a genius, Photoshop genius, to be able to you just to be able to follow directions.
Well,
And then
that
the last day we do talk about the marketing, how to find clients if that's it interests you, if I find clients that are willing to have you photograph their stuff, and
mhm.
how to what kind of stuff that people will buy, and how to sell it, how to price it, so that you have a business foundation as you leave as well.
Like that's great. And a few things that stood out to me that I like about this is that no one's left behind. That, even if someone's faster, I bet there's probably even opportunity for that person maybe to help someone else in the class, because Texas school community is such a big part. We say that every time I'm talking to someone. It's cliche, but it really is true. At Texas school, you build that community, that family. And I guess I didn't know this, or didn't put it together, that I love the idea that they can bring their own stuff. So they're actually leaving Texas school with, with something, a piece of work that they created that's special to them. It's not someone else's car or someone else's motorcycle. It's stuff that they care about, right?
That's right. Yeah, and it's a collaborative effort. We have people broken into two teams of two, and there's little sets set around the room. Our room is large, but it also takes up a lot of space because we have a lot of stuff going on. We have little tabletop setups for everybody, and then one person. Light painting is a collaborative effort. You can't just do it by yourself. You have to have someone click the shutter while you're doing the lighting, or vice versa. So when we do that, then they pair up, and then they switch places when they need to. And then, like you said, everybody gets their own finished piece to take home.
Yeah, that's fun. That's special. So let's kind of play matchmaker for a second. Who is your ideal student? You've seen lots of different students come through. Like, what do you think your ideal student is, or do you
Well,
have?
I'll say my ideal student is someone who wants to learn,
Okay.
and was willing to try something new, rather than just, I'm not saying that it's not a good idea to know posing and lighting and that sort of thing for if you're in the portrait world, as I am too. But I find that the reason I continue to, like you said earlier, be out there in front of things is because I get bored very easily. I want to try something new, and this is really an exciting part for me. And I did it strictly to begin with to just experiment. And then people started asking me, hey, can you do this? Hey, can you do that? And pretty soon it became a very profitable product line. So, and that was by accident. But what we teach in the class is how to not do it by accident, because it took me 18 months before I reached six figures doing it. And now I think I have some of my clients are doing multiple six-figure business doing this. So it is a pretty, and it's an add-on. But my ideal client would be someone who is, who is not new to photography. Many of my clients are not in the profession of photography, although some of them are. And they have the time and inclination and connections to be able to get to some of the types of clients that they want, that they
Hmm.
reach. I would say that if you have connections and you're younger, you're going to be a part of this as well. But a lot of people are not none of my client, a lot of my students are not really interested in this as a business. They want to just be able to do it and do it fun. Or let's say it's an automobile club they're part of, they want to photograph their buddies' cars and that sort of thing. So
Uh-huh.
um, it's a very eclectic mix. We have 20 somethings and we have 70 somethings in the class.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole Texas school, right? The melting pot of Texas school too.
Exactly,
It's like
exactly.
that. It's
Mhm.
like that. So you've kind of hit on this, and I think I already know the answer, but and if some of our people haven't been listening the whole time, um, why you, right? What makes your class? You're the only light painting class at Texas school, so that makes it unique too, right? But
Yeah.
if they can come one year, there's all these other options. Why would someone choose you? Why do you want them to choose you?
Well, I think. the people that choose me see light painting as something that they really want to do. It's not like you said, it's not like they're choosing between 6 different light painting class teachers.
Mhm.
I have been, an instructor in the business since 1983. So what is that? 43 years. So I've been around the block and I've been, I kind of have an empathy for students and knowing what they need to know and to have
Mhm.
the patience to deal with I call it the lowest common denominator. There's always someone who's fastest and there's always someone who's slowest. And if you make that person who's the slowest very happy, then you're going to make everybody else in the class happy as well.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, well, I don't feel like I have a lot of regrets. One is I was never able to take your class. So uh, we were always teaching down the hall from each other when I was
That's right.
there.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
that's right.
So, um, well, what we kind of know about light painting, you've kind of explained light painting to us. You kind of said, what they're going to do in class. And this may seem redundant, but 1 week after Texas school, right? They've experienced the parties, they've experienced your class, they've met you, they've made their new friends, and now they're back and the real life sets in. What are these students, how's their life going to be different? What can they do 1 week after Texas school that they couldn't do before Texas school?
Well, one thing we start to do and actually this is going to happen pretty soon, is I always have a private light painting Texas school class, and that gives us an opportunity to meet each other, but also a chance to discuss options to what you want to bring to be photographed, equipment, and so forth. Um, because I also teach workshops, I have a workshop website set up with all the necessary equipment and so forth, so
Mhm.
people can go to that and get that kind of information. And when they graduate, we have we maintain that Facebook page, but we also everybody gets to become a member of my John Hartman Light Painting um, private Facebook page, which I have hundreds of people on that, and it's a great opportunity, a great resource to be able to go to and get opinions on your work. It's a place you can post images privately. I
Mhm.
don't normally suggest that people go out and immediately start putting their work online. Just like, there's the old, the mom who photographs babies and her daughter and all of her friends thinks this is wonderful. She should start a business and the photographers look at them and they say, no, no, don't do that. You're not ready for it. And it's sort of the same way with light painting. It's an exciting thing. You want to get it out there. So this Facebook page is a really nice, safe place to post your work and get opinions that are all coming from the same point of view. And
Mhm.
so it's a great way to maintain friendships. I have people who have been on it for 6 or 7, 8 years.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a continuing process.
Yeah. I'm
And
sure you.
yeah, we've had people who've come back to Texas school, my class, several times, and sometimes they come to Stevens Point to see what it's really like, see if I'm really real for a workshop. And so
Yeah.
we do maintain connections.
Yeah. I think that's great. And I love hearing Texas school instructors say that. And you're not the only one that's unique to that. I think that's the culture that's been built at Texas school over the past 50 years is that because you don't come for the money, instructors don't come for the money or for the fame. They really come because they want to help other photographers succeed. They want to help other photographers experience the joy, the satisfaction they have in creating this work. And we all want photography to be around for the next generation. We all believe it's important. And at the age of software being so advanced and artificial intelligence coming in, I know something like what you teach, unless a robot's going to do it, and I think we're a long way from that robot doing it, this is still a handmade product that takes the discipline and the knowledge and the skill set that the God-given human mind can do and not a computer or a software.
I agree.
Yeah. So, well, is there anything else you'd like to add uh, to your future students out there that are listening and watching this?
Well, like I said, I only do this because it's fun, so we definitely have fun in our class. And it's a good group, and
Yeah.
so, I mean, again, it's not for everybody, but it's for those that want something a little bit different.
Yeah. Well, if you haven't looked at John's work, make sure you check out John Hartman's light painting work. And if you see images like how do they do it, you'll know that's one that he light painted because they have such a three-dimensional quality to them. They're really spectacular. And you may even see some snow carvings and cars and houses. product and all Tom Hartman that you can learn as well at Texas School. Again, texasschool.org, April 26th through May 1. We hope to see you in John Hartman's class, Light Painting, the Art, the Science, and the Business.
Thanks, Cris.
Thank you.